Hey, I'm Herald sports writer Manny Navarro here with Andre Fernandez, our high school sports writer, and inside the South Plantation locker room where, Dre, last week these guys pulled off the biggest upset maybe of the year so far.
So far, it's got to be. I mean, there's no other. Everyone was shocked. Everyone had the WTF face where I was. Let's not say what that stands for right now. It's a family show, but everybody was pretty surprised the Paladins pulled it off. But hey, they've put themselves right in the mix for a potential district fight down the stretch in District 12.
Yeah, District 12, 8A. It's them and the other team from Plantation who knocked off Miramar last week. I was there for that game. An impressive 20-12 win there. All right, Andre, big games this week. They continue in that District 12, 8A. Let's first of all start off, though, down in District 16, 7A between Sunset and Reagan. That's Thursday night, 3:30 kickoff. Why is this game important?
It's a week-to-week battle in that district. It's a 9-team district, the largest in the state. And really, so far I think it's important because the Sunset Knights continue to surprise. We were there last year. We saw a young team that was getting better. They collapsed a little bit early in the season and then went on a slide down the stretch. Ended up, I think it was like 3-7, 2-8. Definitely far from what they wanted to be, where they wanted to be at the end of the season. But this year, a 3-1 start, another solid victory. They beat Goldman last week. And here's a chance to really prove themselves against a solid Ronald Reagan team, and I think they can do it.
Friday night, down at FIU, the big game, the Cuban Bowl, as I like to call it, Belen versus Columbus, the two private schools, Catholic private schools. Talk about that matchup, and does Belen have a chance of finally pulling it off?
I mean, Belen's gotten it together. They started slow, 0-2 start. They picked up a couple of wins the last couple of weeks, got a good district win last week, but honestly, I think Columbus has too much for them. It's the same old story. They have more talent on that team. They have more depth on that team, more importantly. And like always, I think it's going to be a great event. It's going to be a party atmosphere at FIU. But once the ball is kicked, I think in the end, Columbus wears them down and gets another win.
All right, Northwestern going to be going down to Harris Field in Homestead to take on South Dade. 7:30 kickoff on Friday. Bulls hung tough with American Heritage a couple weeks ago. They've played pretty decently, I think, but can they pull off this upset?
I mean, I actually ran into a funny story after my game last week. I ran into Billy Joseph, one of the top defensive players for Northwestern, and he was telling me, Dre, watch out for us. We're getting better. It doesn't look like it. They're 1-2 right now. Like you said, they're struggling a little bit. Unfortunately, Billy, I have a bad feeling they might go 1-3, only because that South Dade offense is seriously good. I even told them that. Watch their offensive line. They're very good. They run the football very well. So I think the Bucks take this one, but Billy's right. Down the road, I think Northwestern's going to get a chance to get better, and they'll have a shot in that district later on.
Yeah, I'm picking all the favorites as well. I don't see any upsets yet. That's why I'm not chirping up with picks.
To catch up to me.
Southridge versus Carroll City, 7:30 kickoff Friday at Traz. What do you think about this one?
Carroll City, and they've had one of the best starts so far this year. I mean, they've come in, had huge wins on the road, beat Oxbridge, beat Lakeland. They did what they needed to do last week, took care of business against HML. And Southridge, keep seeing them be close in these games, but this might be another close heartbreaker. I think Carroll City pulls it out.
Yeah, I think Southridge, you kind of saw where they stood against Booker T a couple weeks ago. I agree with you. I think Carroll City, they've got it together now. Aquinas-Hallandale, that's the big one. Friday night, the one everybody's kind of talking about. Can Hallandale pull it off?
It's going to take a lot because, Aquinas wears you down by the end of the game. You're huffing and puffing while they're still, mowing you down up front. And I think, St. Thomas, this is their first test, though. I mean, they've played some big names so far, but this is the most talented team they've faced so far, and it's going to be good. It's still going to be a competitive game in the fourth quarter, but I think the Raiders wear them down and pull it out.
Yeah, I'm with you there, too. As much as I like Hallandale, I don't know that defensively they have enough to shut down that St. Thomas offense. All right, Central versus Booker T at Trash, 7 o'clock. This game has lost a little bit of its luster, but still a big game Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still a big game. Yes, they're not undefeated. They're not going for a national title the way we've been used to. We've been spoiled by that every year the last few years. But I think this is Central's chance at payback because they could have been two national champions, arguably, twice over had it not been for Booker T. And I think this is where they pay him back a little bit. Booker T is a little young. They're getting better. The quarterback, Daniel Richardson's got them on the right track, but the Rockets' defense is going to be too much.
All right, American Heritage taking on Norland at North Miami Stadium, 7 o'clock. Heritage has played a lot of home games. Now they go on the road, and they play a pretty good Norland team.
Yeah, it is a pretty good Norland team. Again, they're all about that defense there. They even showed it against Central. Gave up 2 scores, but spread out in that game. Gave their offense a chance, but really until that offense gets some momentum going, I can't see them beating any kind of team as good as Heritage is.
All right, and the last one, this team right here, South Plantation, going down to Miramar. Important district game. They win this, and you can say they've got the inside track to a playoff spot. What do you think?
If they win this, the Plantation battle is going to be huge down the road at the end of the season. They'll definitely have the inside track, and you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to say they're going to do it. I'm going to say they're going to come up with a big road win.
You and I agreed with every single pick this week.
Wow.
That's got to be the first time.
We have to come up with a count of how each of us are doing. You used to, every time you took the lead on picks the last few years, you like boasting about it. I have a feeling I'm ahead right now. So someone's got to get the scoreboard together.
Yeah, you're busting my chops, but you're right. You are beating me this year. I've taken some gambles on teams and haven't delivered for me in the upset range. But I'm picking South Plantation. I saw Miramar. Look, they turned the ball over 3 times last week in Plantation territory. That's going to be huge. If they hold on to the football, they can win that game. They're at home. They really need it. But this South Plantation defense really showed me something last week, the way they played against Flanagan. I think that they're going to go out there and win and set up a huge battle down the road between South Plantation and Plantation, like you said. All right, that wraps it up for our picks this week. We'll see you next week.